All right, well, cool. Well, I'm ready when you are.
So why 69?
Oh my God, you're hitting me with the question. Okay, all
So why
right.
don't we flip the tables a little bit?
Okay, we'll run it like this. That's a
Yeah.
great question. Well, 69 is the funny sex number,
Yep. This is
and
true.
I figured if I put anything more on this avatar, I'd be as big as a world. So
Yeah. No, that's probably a fair call.
yeah,
So you took the you clearly didn't like the cat got your tongue expression, so you decided to change it to shark got your ear.
who is running this interview right now? What is going
Oh,
on?
I thought I was.
No, but I like that. That was pretty funny. I like how you sat down. Like you, usually I'm like, okay, are you ready? And then we hop into it, and you're just like, sure.
Yeah.
Why 60? Fuck me. All right. I mean,
Maybe
sure.
later.
Yeah.
When the camera's off, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll get there. There's a bet
Yeah.
up there. Why did you say yes? If you can remember.
If I actually do remember, and I didn't.
You're right.
My answer was maybe. If you
Sorry, let me
recall,
rephrase that. Why did
I
you
popped in.
eventually say yes?
I also don't know that I did, but it just happened. I'm not protesting,
Oh, yeah.
but it just happened. It just kind of happened, you know. So like most marriages, to be fair.
Pretty much, I would argue. Well, hopefully, there you go. A lot of the previous answers have been a lot of, fuck it. Why not? It sounds pretty funny.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's, I guess, it's kind of the answer that I've been adopting to. But,
I haven't had a husband before, so you know, it's also a novel thing.
I would have loved to hang out with you a lot more before doing the interview, but, better.
Yeah, I kind of got the tail end of that, didn't I?
Yeah. You seem to be a very busy person, which leads
I work unusual hours, yes.
to my first question,
Mm-hmm.
which has something to do with your tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
That is, you. If I remember correctly, you have given me a photo, or rather a JPEG, of a elemental component that you are very familiar with.
This is true. So they're molecular diagrams of some of the components found in whiskey, which is what I do for a living. I make whiskey. Well, other than besides drink it, of course, is make whiskey and rum and other various spirits.
So,
But mostly whiskey. That's what I care about the most.
oh, me too. I like my whiskey. You like your job though. You like doing it.
I do. It's my dream job. It took me quite a long time to get here, and I'm able to do what I love, which is, I think, rare and privileged.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if you love your job, how does the saying go? If you love
You
your
never work a
job,
day in your life, but
yeah,
the thing is, I love what I do, but many components of the job are tedious.
yeah.
So I think I don't work about 10% of the time, despite being there and doing things. But it is a pretty grueling job. The picture that most people have in their head of a distiller, you know, flitting around the world and drinking nothing but the finest of whiskies, it's not the reality of it. The reality of it is a sweaty, grueling job lifting and moving
God.
heavy objects, and yeah, it's not the romanticized job that people think it is, but I still love doing it.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm happy for you. You might not feel like you've been able to gauge properly, but my goal from the beginning to the end of 69 was to share my love throughout the 69 people as much as humanly possible to essentially hype them up, to make them feel loved and safe and happy. Do you, in the short time that we have been able to hang out and chat, do you feel like I've accomplished that?
You felt like a safe space. I'll give you that. Yeah, because not everyone manages to do that. Yeah.
I try not to.
And sorry, I am actually patting
Right.
one of my cats.
I've noticed that.
Edgy on the Hecatoncheires has decided that he would like to sit on my lap, and Will Mythen and I am.
I like cats, so I'll allow
Yeah.
it. And after this, I would hope to hang out with you a little bit more. 'Cause,
Yeah, absolutely.
I do like chatting with you. I think it's that accent.
Well, you're my homeworld. my homeworld is one that you have decimated me in, and we do seem to be attracted to the same instances. we share 4 of them now.
That idle queue is the whole thing, and every time I go there, I'm only widening the gap. So.
Yeah. Stay away. No, not really.
I am very curious to know, because I feel like out of all the people that I've asked this question, I feel like I know what your answer is going to be. If you were given the opportunity to change your tattoo to something else, would you change it?
No.
Yep.
The reason I chose that tattoo, if you're interested in knowing,
Oh, of course.
is because for a very long time I wanted a sleeve tattoo. And prior to that I wanted a tattoo on my back. But I have decided to not get inked. But if I was to, it would be a sleeve with essentially what I've given you, but just more prolific.
Right.
And yeah, sort of a little bit smaller and interlaced, so it looks like a honeycomb pattern on my arm from a distance, but you get closer and you realise I'm actually a total fucking nerd.
And what better than to be a total fucking nerd? And I think that's lovely. If you ask me, I prefer weird over normal. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I like the tattoo. I like the fact that you have
Pleased to hear. I'm pleased. Yeah.
spent your time to actually go into Photoshop and do
Oh,
it.
that wasn't Photoshop. That was Microsoft Paint.
Fucking you spent time out of your day to do it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah. So yeah, and I also think it's interesting because a lot of people that ask, they're like, "What's this? What's all this shit on your?"
Oh, you do get asked about it. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, of
Okay.
course. And I'm like,
wicked.
wow, well, funny you should ask, and I always get so hyped up to say it. Actually,
cool.
one of my husbands happens to work in a distillery. Yeah, I know the compound that goes into whiskey. Not to brag or anything. Plus, it's very interesting because
Yeah, that's great.
it's very interesting.
I was hoping it'd be a conversation starter.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Because obviously they look all up and down my arms, up and down my legs. But they usually see the triple bucket tattoo on my back. They see the Scottish flag, or the
that's
very
quite identifiable.
strange ghost guy next to it, and they also see the elemental stuff back there. And they're like, well, what the hell is that? Anything you're willing?
Yeah,
to
so I've done a lot of things through life, I suppose, and just found myself here, I guess. I've usually followed the path of least resistance. My first job was public speaking. And
Scary.
sort of did some... Yeah, I ended up going to university, got a job working adjacent, not as a qualified engineer, but in an engineering department in sort of the main city in my country. And then ended up leaving that and decided I'd like to learn the family business, which at the time was brewing beer. And as it turns out, brewing is glorified cleaning. There are some interesting components to it, but it's like 10% interesting in terms of chemistry and creativity, and then there's 90% just cleaning. And not just cleaning, but like scrubbing, caustic washing, sanitizing, scrubbing, caustic washing, sanitizing, carrying buckets. It's just, you need to be obsessive about cleaning. And I'm just not. It's something that needs to be done. It's not something that I'm passionate about. I got offered a job at a distillery and did that for a little over a year and just adored it. But at the time, the brewery was making whiskey wash for that distillery, and that distillery was winning gold medals at the World Whiskies Awards for their whiskey, and started working for them. I'd be able to go through their logbooks to try to figure out what it was that was making the best whiskies. Was it their location in the bond store? Was it the place we're sourcing the casks from? Because we sourced from 3 different breweries. We sourced from 4 different cask manufacturing companies, cooperages. Where they sat in the bond store, what parts, are they near windows? Are they a more consistent temperature? As it turned out, the only thing that I could figure out that they had in common is that the brewery that I worked for was the brewery was making the whiskey that was winning the awards. So I thought, well, shit, we've already got the wash making part down pat. I already have the spirit making part down. Why don't I just do it all myself? So I did.
And here you are.
Here I am. The funny thing is, some people ask, they seem surprised that I make more than just whiskey. And although whiskey is what I love most of all, there are still other interesting spirits. And the response to that is, a chef doesn't cook just one thing. They might have a specialty, but they're still more than capable of cooking something else. In principle, distilling anything is essentially the same.
Huh.
It just depends on the base product.
That's a good metaphor for that. A chef
Thank
doesn't
you.
only cook one thing. Pretty
Yeah.
good. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, an artist isn't necessarily just restrained to one medium. That sort of thing. And I've created 4 completely unique drinks that don't exist anywhere else in the world so far.
Well, shit.
I'd prefer not to necessarily talk about them because it will very much identify me.
Fair enough. Your thing, isn't it?
Oh, Quill and Compass. No. This is my side hustle.
Got it. Okay. I was wanting to
So
make
I'm
sure
not.
before.
This doesn't really identify me. It's just for a beard oil and a beard balm. Because yes, I am bearded.
Well, so am I. I think I've
very
heard
good.
you've been like
Oh
scratching
yeah,
your
I
beard
scratch
and
my face, and I do get
I like
asked
to
that
do
quite
it.
a lot.
I like to do it.
Yeah.
But okay, interesting. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this allows me to be a cheeky little bitch, to have a real attitude online, which is the attitude that I'd kind of always like to have if I'm, pretending to be someone else sort of thing. Just a snarky little bitch, which is just fun. It's just fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed writing the stuff that I write for this. It's just fun. Whereas, for whiskey, it's kind of it's considered prestigious, and you kind of have to fall into that highbrow category. It can be a little bit of fun, but you need to take it fairly seriously. People aren't going to cough up $200 a bottle for something that they don't view seriously. Not $200, 200 Australian pesos.
Oh, okay.
But
Fuck
still,
me.
yeah. So about what is it? It's probably $110 a bottle for our. My bottles are smaller than the Scottish bottles, but half liter, if liter means anything to you.
I feel like the most expensive drink I've ever had, if only in a single glass, was probably around $100. So, to my knowledge, I think. I don't know. Some people have placed drinks in front of me and said, "Hey, drink this." I'm like, it's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Just because more has been spent on it, it doesn't make it better or anything like that. It generally just makes it more rare, potentially more sought after. I do have bottles of whiskey worth thousands, and one of my favourite whiskeys is worth about $1,500 a bottle. It's absolutely sublime, but it doesn't make it better than a whiskey that's, say, $160. You can get absolutely some of the world's best whiskey for that price. You don't need to spend more. The only reason that more is spent is due to rarity or demand, or both.
I mean, some of my favorite whiskey is roughly like $20 to $30. But...
I need to show you some good stuff.
Hey,
you can't get good whiskey here for that price, unfortunately.
You're the professional. I feel like if I were to ask anyone, it's probably you.
Yeah, I'd hope so. I give advice to plenty of friends. If you've got any great Scottish whiskey, very cheap, the Kilchoman Macchia Bay, absolutely solid, and it's fairly similar in style to what I make.
There you go.
It's not my whiskey, of course. It's a Scottish whiskey, but great value, great whiskey.
Mm-hmm. Clearly not Scottish. You're Australian too. So.
Correct. Unfortunately.
What do you mean, unfortunately?
We don't get to choose where we're born.
Oh God!
But as it turns out, my great grandfather on my paternal side was a distiller for an Irish distillery, and on my maternal side, a great grandfather was a distiller for a German distillery. So there's too much blood in my whiskey stream, as it turns out. But I didn't know that when I started.
Something. The apple doesn't fall far from the.
Fall far from the tree. This is right. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, shit. Way to keep it going. I
do my best.
I'd say your best is pretty high up there, if you ask me.
Well, I did win second best in the world recently for one of the things that I made, so it's not too bad.
I married that.
For someone who's, I'm up against distilleries who've been operating hundreds of years, so having been doing it for only, a decade, I think is an okay effort. I can't afford to enter everything that I make because it is quite expensive to enter competitions.
That's still pretty impressive, if you ask me.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah. Oh, why not?
Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna... Fuck it. Okay, cool. Here, let me
So you got yourself?
I've got in my hands... Oh. Well, that's funny. My controller fell and landed straight up. What I have right here is a one of my favorites. It's peppermint Smirnoff vodka.
You have told me about that before.
This is
no one likes vodka. If you like vodka, you're kidding yourself. You just like being drunk.
Or maybe I like being, or maybe I like peppermint. Who knows?
Well, I like peppermint as well.
A cheers to you.
Actually, no, cheers indeed. Cheers, Elite Eric.
I got my. I promise.
Actually, the game Half-Life Alex brings it up wonderfully. It's something like when Alex is visiting a vodka distillery, she asks Russell, is vodka nice? Or something along those lines. And he goes, oh, no, it's horrible. Oh, note to self, Russell doesn't like vodka. Oh, I didn't say that. I love vodka. So it's, it rings quite true.
I love that game, actually.
It's amazing. It was the pinnacle of VR for me.
It was one of the
and
first
when nothing
games
else
that I
lived up
played
to it,
in
I
VR.
didn't touch any other VR for a year. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Lone Echo is quite solid, but I've had to download
Which one?
an application that allows me to play Quest games because I don't have a Quest or whatever you call it. Yeah, that's what they call. Lone Echo. It's a space game.
Ah.
You're a robot in space, and you wake up with your human captain there, and it's just the two of you, and you need to. You're just in 0G, and you're able to locomote using a couple of thrusters on your frame's wrists, I believe. It's been a long time since I played it, but it's an amazing game. It's the only thing that came close to, for me, to sort of the single-player experience of Half-Life Alyx.
Lone Echo, right, future Eric, give that a look. Lone Echo. Now that we've got this here, and that we're properly in your element, which is alcohol.
That's the one.
So, I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know a couple things, if I'm going to be honest. But mostly, I am curious to know why is vodka so hated upon?
Oh,
as opposed to whiskey.
The primary goal of vodka is to not have flavor, to be as tasteless as possible. So the part of the alcohol that anyone drinks is ethyl alcohol, ethanol, whatever you want to call it. And with vodka, it is designed to be tasteless. With pretty much any other type of spirit, it's designed just to be... Some places will try to go for approachable or smooth. To me, smooth just means it lacking in character.
Or that it goes down.
I prefer to drink something... This is right, but I'd still prefer something that's interesting as opposed to just easy to knock back. A drink that is, not necessarily challenging, but challenging can be fine if it's interesting. A drink that makes you think, and the pinnacle for me is a drink that's transportive. Like it might make you reminisce vividly, or take you back to a time and a place, to, like, say, a childhood memory, and just
like that one
transportive
scene
in that sense. Like you're almost, yes, perfectly described. And I have had probably 3 or 4 of those experiences with whiskey. That is the best a whiskey can be for me. And the fact that a drink can accomplish that is just spectacular. That's what I want to create.
Well,
I want to create those experiences for everyone.
You want to do the ratatouille.
Yeah, but in a bottle, in a preserved form, that people can have those experiences in the comfort of their own home.
And hopefully
that's the
not
wonderful thing about whiskey. No, I don't get any assistance from rats, but I might get assistance from cats. I hope that's more acceptable. We also do have a distillery dog.
Whatever floats your float. About one of those 4 that you mentioned. Do you happen to have a favorite?
I do, and it's not... My favorite one isn't worth talking about in terms of... it involves using substances that are legislated against, but having a fantastic time on a particular beach with some excellent friends, and involving some psychoactive compounds. But it was one of the highlights of my life. And there may have been a fire twirling wand and a few other things involved, and it was just incredible. Yeah. And the more PG time, it actually just... my favourite grandparents died quite young, and it took me back to a time, a very specific time with them, and that was incredible.
That's lovely. Yeah. Well, hey, cheers to that.
Cheers, indeed.
Wow. I hope to experience something similar to I guess the best way to...
I hope you get to too.
The ratatouille.
If I'll look into the Floridian alcohol laws and see if I can come up with anything.
Your username. I wanted to ask
sure.
more about your username. Which...
Long story, but I will give you the very abridged version. I used to be Destiny obsessed, and I did have a clan in Destiny that was about 42 members. I've since become real life friends with a few of them, which is really cool. Even I've met some that have lived in other countries when I've gone to visit those countries as well. It was called the Surefire Sentinels, and my username back then was something entirely different. And when I stopped playing Destiny, a friend who I know in real life asked for the clan, and I ended up giving it to him, and he almost instantly changed the name. He did ask for permission, and at that point, it took me a little while to agree to it, but I did agree to it. And after he changed the name, I decided I still wanted it to live on in some way, so I changed my username to Surefire Sentinel. And people kept calling me Surefire. That isn't the descriptor. So, sorry, that was the descriptor, not the name. So I ended up just abridging it to Sentinel because it was just easier. And, there are other reasons, like it's a Judas Priest song that I love, the Sentinel. It seems to come up a lot. There was a PlayStation 1 game called The Sentinel. They're one of the hostile creatures in the Matrix. It keeps coming up again and again, whether it's a subclass of something in gaming or in some sort of fantasy setting. It just seemed like a really appropriate name, and the meaning of it being like a protector or guardian. And
so you were a Titan.
I was a warlock, actually, was my name, but I did have I was also I have a hunter and a Titan as well, yeah.
Every Destiny player does.
But master of time and space. Who wouldn't want to be a warlock, really?
Yeah, no. Well,
that was the descriptor in D1. The masters of time and space.
As a hunter, I must say,
broken with your fucking blade barrage.
Look,
it's been a long time since I played, but in
Destiny 1
Gambit,
beta, my hunter is from the Destiny 1 beta, and I'll always represent the hunters. Yeah, I always.
Fair enough.
Even though the other classes are equally as good. I don't want to pick up a war. I don't want to start a war in the
That's not a race war. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna do this real quick because I think it's very funny. I'm gonna spawn this thing in.
You ghost. Or the former Dinklebot.
Good old Dinklebot. Yeah.
Well, asking them what their favourite game would be, if that wasn't something you were already going to ask, would be what I would be interested in hearing.
Yeah, that's a new question.
Because I think, I just think for anyone here, we're likely to already be gamers. So it just is a relevant question, and just as knowing what someone's favourite book is, but unfortunately so few people are readers nowadays. That it just seems like a question where you can kind of delve into their personality a little bit. Are you a reader?
Not quite a reader, but I like to write. I'm pretty fond of writing. We'll get to that afterwards. I have a little thing going on. It's part of my lore.
Okay.
I do a little thing on Patreon. But, we'll get there. That's a good question, but I still have to give you the question that the previous husband asked for you.
Oh yeah, sure, far away.
And that is very simply, how do you like your steak cooked?
It depends on the cut of steak, because it has to. If it's a very marbled steak, it should be medium rare. If it's a very lean cut, then definitely rare, tending to blue. If I happen to be eating meat at that time.
Okay. Are you vegetarian?
Always flexitarian.
Okay, flexitarian.
I disagree with factory farming.
Which is fair. Very fair.
But it's also pretty tasty. So
Look,
guilty of being
I like
being
hamburgers.
a hypocrite, sure, but yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah.
I like beef. Yeah, but
Tonight the dish that I had cooked when you first approached me was barbecue pit beans, because that is the single greatest food ever created.
Well, I mean, how
Americans, North Americans, do three things correctly. The three B's, I call them: beer, barbecue, and obesity.
Obesity?
Well, it's like the three R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. You know,
Or the 3Ds?
the three B's.
No, the 3Ds.
Oh, three D's. Oh, that's barely an A cup. I've got more than that. What's your favourite world in VR chat?
Well, I kind of want to be biased and say this world, but there is a world that I would hope that you haven't been to yet, so that I could personally take you there. It's a VR concert experience where it's like I think they're Vocaloid. They're like a little anime girl.
It's on that little Japanese
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
She's doing this. Yeah, I know that one.
Oh,
really well.
the
Kikyo.
Kikyo.
Kikyo. Yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that
That's great.
would be my
That's the best
favorite
visualizer. That's the best visualizer experience. I've taken a bunch of noobs there. Anyone who puts on my headset in Meat Space tends to get set up in that world.
That is a fun,
it's very
cool
good
experience.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's and plus that's the kind of music that I like to vibe to more times than not. So
Sure. Yeah.
every time I'm in
that's
there,
fair.
I'm busting a move. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, cool. Synthwave's my groove generally. Although, I like a bit of classical and metal as well.
Oh yeah, same here. My father raised me on classical rock, so
Nice.
definitely there. But also, I like anime girls. So I suppose that'll do it. That'll conclude the interview, and then we can continue to sit here and drink.
Yeah, no worries.
Would you like
Thank
to
you
share
for
anything?
putting. Oh, just thank you for putting up with me.
Oh, come on.
If you have in fact lasted this long.
Oh, I'll clip it down. It won't be.
Yeah. No, either way, it will still be managing to get to the end of whatever time format you deem appropriate.
Right. Yeah. Well, thank you for watching as well.
And if you didn't get this far, no, obviously.
And if you're still watching, put pee poo poo, pee poo 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 pee poo poo pee in the comments.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome, Eric. Thanks for the time.